Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Kwaku, and welcome to Next Windows. Today was the build keynote day one. I talked about a number of things at the keynote, but I'm going to talk about three things that I saw that really stood out. The first one is they announced a Windows terminal. Basically, what Windows terminal is, if you've ever had a Mac OS machine, a Macintosh, you probably know of terminal, the command line interface for Mac. Basically is the equivalent to, let's say, command prompt on Windows and PowerShell on Windows. But the Windows terminal for Windows, obviously, is basically, I don't know if it's supposed to be a replacement for command prompt and PowerShell, but it actually includes, you can do the same things that you can do in PowerShell and in command prompt in the Windows terminal. And one of the cool things for those modern people out there is it supports the latest Unicode codec. So basically that allows you to use emoji inside the terminal, which is kind of insane because, you know, you're coding something. You wouldn't think you would use an emoji while you're coding or while you're doing some command line idea. So yeah, that's a thing. And also included in Windows Terminal is actually a feature that we had in the past if you were an insider program person. We had in the past, it was called sets. And basically what sets was going to do was it was going to put tabs on pretty much everything across Windows. And now one of the things that you can do is in this Windows terminal, it looks like they didn't, even though they took down sets for across Windows, they put it in that one program, Windows Terminal, which is what they just announced. And basically, so now you have tabs and you can group things that you're using in that one program. So you can have multiple command lines open, multiple tabs open, and it's really nice, really fluid, and it's keyword fluid. And yeah, the second thing that I loved that I saw during the build keynote was one thing that Microsoft kind of got hate for, not really hate for, but they kind of like looked like they stepped away from it, is the idea of using Cortana as like a voice assistant. So the general idea I saw was that Cortana is now going to be more of the underlying structure for voice assistants that different businesses and companies can use, that kind of voice assistant. So basically what they did is something that I think Google Home has had for a long time, and I have one right here, so I'm kind of scared that it was going to speak. But one thing that Google Home had for a long time was you can speak to it, and when you want to speak again and say something related to the last thing you spoke about, for instance, if you're asking what is the weather, and then you're like, what is the temperature then? You know, what is the temperature there? It already knows that key location phrase because you said it in your previous wording. So it's more human computational. It kind of understands our verbal language a lot better. And they're implementing that with Cortana. That way you can speak to Cortana in a similar fashion, ask her different things about appointments, and it's rather than repeating the day of the week of your appointment, you can just say schedule this other appointment during that same day. And then Cortana will just know that, hey, I need to schedule it for, say, that Monday that you already spoke about. So that's a cool thing they're adding, and it's going to be out later this year. They're also pushing it towards businesses so they can kind of create their own voice assistants using Cortana's underlying code, which is really cool, you know, because Bank of America has, I think, Erica, but it's not that good. And then some companies have different assistants. So they'll be able to use the underlying code to just create their own assistant as a company that only works for that company, which is really cool. So Cortana is not competing with the likes of Siri and Google Home or Google Now, but it's just being used as the structure, the baseline structure, the foundation for companies and businesses to, you know, create their own assistants for their company. The third and final thing that I loved that I saw at build keynote, that I saw during the build keynote, was we all know of, if you're watching this video, you already know of Fluent Design, Microsoft's whole design language for Windows 10 going forward, for right now at least. And basically Fluent Design, they're now pushing it even further and they have created a website, Fluent Design System, I believe is what it's called. And basically, they're now giving the basic framework for developers across all the platforms to use Fluent Design language in iOS, Android, Windows, and just other platforms out there. They're giving that base framework, the basic, not the basic, but they're giving the color schemes and how it should flow, and just all the language and all the speaking and how you should craft your app to make it look like a, I guess, a fluent application, modern fluent application. They're now doing that. And so you can take a look at that website. I'll put that website link below so you can take a look if you're a developer and you like the Fluent design style, or if you like the formerly known as Metro design language, and you want to continue using Microsoft style design language on your apps on all platforms. You can have that, and you can finally code an app that will look just as nice as it will if you code it on the native Windows platform, as well as it could look on iOS and Android, and it won't look different on every platform. It can look the same styling on every platform, and it just keeps everything clean and crisp. Now, one thing that I liked, it just triggered in my head when I saw that, was right now in Windows 10 we have a lot of legacy icons. I think Paul Thurrott said that multiple times. We have a lot of legacy icons in Windows 10, and I would like them that if they're trying to push this framework, this Fluent design system, to other developers to use, they should start. They should have a small team that is redesigning that should redesign icons on Windows 10, because right now we have a number of different kinds of icons on Windows 10. I think I'm looking right now underneath the camera. I'm looking at the mail icon for the built-in mail app on Windows 10, and that one is like the first generation like Fluent designs. It's not even Fluent design. It's just Windows 10's modern UI style icon. And then we have like the File Explorer icon, which is more Fluent designs, and then we have the Edge icon, which is still kind of like Metro-esque because it's just flat. And then we have the new Office icons, which they are clearly taking the Fluent design style. So we have a lot of different kind of icons, and even if you look deeper into Windows, you can see some of the old system folders are even back from like 98, Windows 98, which is insane. So they really should use that Fluent design style. If that's what they really want to push developers, they should also use that to move forward with Windows and make everything up to date instead of having a lot of legacy things. I know it's very tough to do that, but those are the three things that I saw it build that I love. There's a lot of other things, including Minecraft coming AR, Minecraft AR, which is like Pokemon Go styled for mobile devices. They said another announcement will be coming up in May 17th, just because that is the 10-year anniversary of Minecraft being released. They had, what was some other things? They had a bunch of other things that happened during build. Visual Studio Online is available. Microsoft's new Edge browser, which I did make a video on how to install Chrome apps on the new Edge browser. Microsoft's new Edge browser, which is Chromium based. They talked about some privacy features and that, which I'll probably dig into in the future, and just a bunch of other things that if I did this right now, it'd be like a podcast. So if you want to know more, I'll let the links below just so you guys can see everything that happened, or you'll probably see it already or hear about it. So my name is Kwaku, and thanks for watching Next Windows. I'll be doing some more app reviews in the future. Take care.